Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Here is the weekly video, or one of the weekly videos, whatever. Um, uh, and I just wanted to start a series. Now that a lot of my subscribers are beginners or not familiar with the game of chess, I wanted to release a series about how to play chess from a very, very beginner level. So what to do, what not to do. And I think I'm just going to play some 10-minute chess so that I'll be able to explain um, those kind of core principles, uh, as well as some of the more advanced tactics and things that I'm capable of seeing. And of course, that'll be my usual blunders along the way. So let's get right into it. All right. So generally, in the beginning, we want to take the center. So I advise that you play either e4 or d4. And there are plenty of openings that you can kind of look at with those moves. Here, the most popular move is knight f3 after e5. Okay, d5 is not a very good move. Elephant gambit. See, it's a gambit. Gambits are generally not good. I'm going to take, so generally you should take stuff. See, now the problem with the queen coming out early is you can attack it. And okay, so it's a gambit, so they won't do that. I think, isn't the whole point of it to like go e5 or e4 or something? It might be. So I'm going to try to play d3 here. I'm going to play d3 to just stop e4, and I'm going to just get some quick development. Yep. Okay, so now I can't get this one in, but I can play this. Nah, that's lame. Let's just play this. So, kind of opening principles, take the center. Oops. Okay, he played, but opening principles, take the center. Develop knights before bishops generally. There are exceptions, but generally develop knight before bishop. And don't move pawns in front of your king unnecessarily. This is called the king side in chess. This is called the queen side. And so the point is most people generally castle king side. And I think if you don't know about castling, you can just YouTube it. There's probably several videos about it. Let me just play a move here. That's just a free pawn, I think, because I just play queen takes and then queen here doesn't work, right? Unless I miscalculated something, but probably not because this person's a 1055. Okay, and they don't even try to take advantage. So I'm just gonna castle eventually, though I don't know whether I should do that immediately or not. Generally, leaving your queen and king lined up is not good because you might get like a rook pinning your queen to the king. I'm just gonna castle. And if this bishop wasn't here, maybe if they'd played like here, and in this position, if they'd played queen to e7, attacking like pinning my knight to my queen, which is undefended. This is an important tactic. I have to move my queen to either defend my queen by like playing something like this, which doesn't work because then just take and f6 wins the knight. Okay, they're not playing very aggressively here. They're just down a clean pawn now. And now I can play this move queen to f3, which lines up my queen with that pawn on b2, b7. Okay. Oh, actually, I just realized that it's not actually attacking the thing. Oh, and if I do this, then there's this, right? Oh, come on. Oh, wait, no, the bishop defense. Sorry, I'm being an idiot. Which is what I do best. But I somehow thought that I'm blundering the b2 pawn, which I'm not. So, but okay, so they think that I am. So they're playing ridiculous chess. I can just play this here, and if they take, I will take back with the bishop. The queen actually. Or the pawn. The pawn, it looks really nice. The reason I'm going to take with the pawn is to open up my rook. And the reason I can't just take the rook is because then they just take my rook and it's an even exchange, except I don't have my king safety is a little bit compromised. So here I'm just going to like probably move my knight out, maybe play d4, maybe e4. Um, I'm going to play this interesting move because I want to try to take on here because if takes, then obviously queen takes rook here. So let's try to do that. It's a little bit of an advanced tactic, kind of maybe. It's only a one move tactic though. Um, Yeah, so now you see my king is relatively safe. This f pawn moved to become an e pawn, so it's a little airier, but I can just play king to h1 and I'll be all right. This king is looking safer, but actually, once I manage to infiltrate with my rook and queen, and this bishop gets into the game, I'll actually be able to get a nice attack if it comes to that. Okay, now they're spending some time. Now I'm only a minute behind on the clock. Um, and so here, the objective of the game, obviously, is to for beginners is to flirt first, not blunder any pieces, not weaken your position drastically with any move you make. Like, right now playing, for example, g4 would be a terrible move because it just opens up my king, and now there's like a direct line of attack. You can just, well, that kind of is just trading queens, but you get the idea. It's going to be kind of hard to defend my king because there's no pawns blocking it from the enemy. I don't know, did they disconnect or something? This happens a lot at this level. I hope they didn't disconnect. Come on. Can you like poke your opponent? Oh, they played something and blundered something immediately. I mean, I guess they didn't. No, they did. They did for sure. I just take this pawn and then I take here, right? And if they come here, I just take the knight as well. So, and if they come here, then I just take this pawn and I'm up several pawns. And here, obviously, they have some pressure because my bishop is overextended. Okay, they didn't take. That's good. That's good. Now I can play knight here and then just go here and be very normal. But the problem with knight here is it does induce the move bishop takes here, pawn takes here, and some kind of exploitation of that move. Maybe like queen here, but that but it just opens this up, so it can't be good. So the problem with bishop takes here now is that I just have direct attack on the f file. I can just play queen takes f7, king. Yeah, see now I just have this in between move, and I'm winning. So that's fine. So now I just take here, and I'm going to play bishop b2 and c4, and I'm going to just checkmate here. That's my idea, at least. So let's see, what does my opponent want? So always think on your opponent time if you can. I just zoned out for a second there, but if you have the opportunity to think on your opponent's time, then you're going to be spending less time on your own clock. Uh, so it's always a good thing to do. So here, obviously, I want to bring my bishop into the game like this to give checkmate on g7. But they might play, rook to g8. And I don't have a knight to give smother mate, unfortunately. But at the I do have another rook, so maybe I could like give a rook lift and bring that rook in. And playing bishop b2 does weaken this square, but I think they'll have to play kind of defensively. If they try to take this pawn, then c4 is too strong. The like queen here doesn't work because I think I have queen to f8. Ooh, oh my wow. Maybe I have some cool stuff. No, I don't think I have any cool stuff. Let me think. Okay, well they're thinking for so long. I guess this is why they play rapid. I'm still more in a blitz mode, but so I think what I often see beginners doing is random opening moves. First of all, they might play something like knight to a3 or like f4 or g3. These are moves that I saw some of the beginners play in the 50 sub special, which I've only filmed the first game at this point, so and this is going to be released before that, so it's going to be a little bit of a weird thing, um, but I encourage you guys to look at taking the center, supporting it with this side pawn. Don't push your f3 pawn or your f pawn to f3. Generally, you want your knight to be there. This c pawn can go to c3, or it can also go to c4 and be defended by b3. These are kind of common pawn structures. You want your knight on c3. And obviously there are some. I don't want to make an opening video per se because I am not like good at chess generally, and I'm also not very accurate. I don't have much opening knowledge. So I think what I'll do is once I get the membership, I'll watch some lessons on chess.com with you guys, and I'll kind of explain the thought process for more kind of beginner kind of play, and I'll go through some simple openings like the London system or the Scotch or the Vienna or something. Oops. Why am I doing that? I don't know why I did that. Uh, oh, I think there was a notification, so I clicked on it. Okay, so let's go back to the game and, oops. Okay, let's go back to the game and, oh, do I have like bishop to a3 to threaten like that maybe? No, I think then they just play knight here and they defend everything like amply because their rook and their knight get into the game. I think I need to double up on the F file to give back rank kind of issues as well because they have two defenders and maybe even three or four. Um, but I think bishop b2 and c4 is a very good idea. On the other hand, I also want to trade queens, and you know why? Tell me why. Tell me why. The reason is look at the material count. Okay, he has an excuse me. He has a knight, and I have a bishop. That's equal. He has two rooks. I have two rooks. That's equal. I have a queen. He has a queen. We both have kings. I certainly hope we have kings. Otherwise, I don't know what we're doing. Okay, I have two pawns here. Two pawns. I have four pawns here. He has one pawn and one pawn and one pawn. So what does that mean? I'm up three pawns here, right? I'm up three pawns. He has only one and I have four here. So that means that I'm up three pawns, which means they could be three queens in the endgame. If I continue to push them up the board, they can become a queen. You know that? So if I trade queens and if I trade a bunch of material, especially because he'll be forced to do that in order to defend his king. Um, for example, if he, let's just say, let's play a couple of moves. Let's say this happened and this happened. Then I can play the move queen to f8. Actually, wait, oh, wait. Sorry, I just realized something. I just realized he can never take on c4 because there's just back rank, literally back rank mate, a queen f8, queen f8, and then rook f8 is mate. So never mind, none of that will ever happen. But let's just say, like knight d7 and um, c4, and then like rook to g8. Um, at some point, if he wants to bring his queen here to kind of alleviate this pressure, because he has his rook and his knight and his other rook defending that square, he just wants to kind of get rid of this pressure. So he might trade off my queen and my rook, right? But then what do we have? Then we okay, let's say these pieces are gone, right? We have bishop and knight versus bishop and sorry, rook and knight versus rook and bishop. Bishops are better than knights in endgames, and I have three pawns more than he does, which means okay, I don't know why this guy's still thinking. Is he just gonna resign or flag? Oh well, we only have to wait 45 seconds and then we'll know. I guess that's what's going to happen. Play, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna type him a chat message. I don't know why it didn't say he abandoned yet, or maybe he was still drawing arrows and stuff. Um, I guess we're going to see a flagging here, so I'm gonna win on time or game abandoned. I don't know which one it'll say. I think timeout. You won on time. There you go. Okay, so I'm 184 now. I mean, not 184, 1084. All right. Once again, I made zero mistakes, zero blunders, and zero missed wins. Sure, sure. Okay. So it's a very simple game, right? Chess is a very simple game for the basics. My opponent played an offbeat system. I called their bluff, and then just played very solid. I didn't let them get any counterplay, didn't try to hang on to the pawn. Don't play things like c4 and stuff here. Generally, unless you're well equipped with theory, which is just like knowledge about exactly how this line is played or this type of variation is played, um, just don't mess into it. If they're playing an opening, they either know what they're doing or they're just fooling around. I just assumed they knew what they're doing and didn't even go into it, but turned out obviously they didn't. They just blundered a pawn and then got a completely losing position, and yeah. And then at the end of the day, now I have a huge F file and the rook is hanging, so obviously they defended the rook. But then this was a little bit of a tactic. I didn't expect really them to see it, even though they spent an awful lot of time on this move, like a minute and a half. So they might have, they like the point of knight a3 is like I don't want to get taken, and at the same time, I should have just played knight c3 here because they would have taken and I would have got this whole thing much sooner. Which is I didn't see that that the f file opens up, which was just a mistake on my part. So, but this was just very simple, and then I knew they would fall into this rabbit hole, and then the game ended because they spent 6 minutes and 45 seconds uh, after I just took their bishop. All right, so that's this game, and I think I'm gonna just stop it there, and you guys dump your questions in the comments. I love to read what you guys are thinking about my videos, and questions, suggestions, comments, just like saying good job or bad job or whatever. Generally, it'll be bad job because I know like I stutter and I miss speak and I. So I think you guys should just dump whatever you want to know, do in the comments, and I'll read those and I'll get back to you with the next video. And I hope that you guys have a good summer. I don't know whether you guys have a summer like my, I don't know. I think most of my viewers are here where I am, but yeah, just have a great time. And the weather's outside is getting better, so maybe we'll have some over the board videos. Maybe I'm trying to find out some tournaments that I might be able to play in my city, and maybe I'll be able to kind of show you some of the games I play there if I'm able to play there. So that's kind of cool. And with that, see you in the next one. Cut.